What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Sacramento Kings guard De'Aaron Fox went off against the Minnesota Timberwolves recently, scoring an NBA season high 60 points, besting Giannis Antetokounmpo's 59 points, which was just set a few days ago against the Detroit Pistons. The Kings guard dropped 26 points in the fourth and overtime to finish with a franchise record 60 points, besting the late great Jack Twyman'S 60 points registered back in 1960, and DeMarcus Cousins' 56-point performance back in 2016, which is the mark for this franchise since they moved to Sacramento in 1985. Really their mark since they rebranded themselves the Kings after initially being the Cincinnati Royals, actually the Rochester Royals, and then the Cincinnati Royals back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. De'Aaron Fox shot 22 of 35 from the field, with 6 of 10 from downtown, and 10 of 11 from free throw line. He had 21 points at halftime and willed the Kings back from a 20-point second-half deficit as he spurred a 14-0 run to start the fourth quarter. As a matter of fact, when De'Aaron Fox saw that he had scored 48 points by the fourth quarter, teammate Malik Monk told him, quote, "You might as well go get 60. And that's exactly what he did. He said after the game, quote, "I wanted this game to end in the fourth quarter, so I don't even want to have the opportunity to get 60, but my teammates wanted me to keep going, obviously." Kings coach Mike Brown said Fox took it upon himself with Monk and DeMar DeRozan both injured. Fox had the first 60-point game in the NBA this season. This is, I believe, the fourth game of the year of 50 points or more. Earlier this season, Pancho Banchero of the Orlando Magic, who I think is out with I know he has some sort of injury. I think it's to his, was it a rib cage or some type of muscle injury? Anyway, he's been out for a while. Hopefully he's back. But anyway, he had the first 50-point game this season. And then, of course, on the same night, Giannis had a 59-point game. And on that same night, Victor Wembanyama had a 50-point game. I think his game was against the Wizards. So this is the fourth 50-point game. Unfortunately for the Kings, this came in a loss to the Timberwolves. So this was not a victory. I think the other three games were victories, those 50-point performances. So final score was 130 to 126. So while it's a great individual achievement for De'Aaron Fox, I'm very, very, very certain that he would have much preferred that he would have scored 30 in a victory than 60 in a defeat. And Fox, who has only made one All-Star team despite averaging over 21 points per game in 8 seasons, said he relishes his performance even in a loss. I mean, it's good to enjoy, playing at that level. It validates that you can play at that level in the league. But I mean, all the great players that I've observed said that they really didn't give a shit about games that they scored a lot of points when they lost. It's like a wasted performance. So I mean, then again, De'Aaron Fox, when you play for the Kings, man. And to be honest with you, even though the Kings had a little good stretch recently, the Kings haven't really been relevant since what? The Chris Webber, Vlade Divac years, So anyway, let's see what De'Aaron Fox is doing this year anyway. Let's see. So far this season, De'Aaron Fox in 13 games is averaging 27.3 points, 5.2 rebounds, 5.3 assists. He's shooting 50.6% from the floor, 32.5% from three-point range, and 86.8% from the free throw line. There's a 21.2 PER rating. And, that was an explosive performance, obviously. And so far in this young season, his free throw percentage and field goal percentage are way up. He's never been a really great three-point shooter, 33% for his career. But anyway, if the Kings want to get anywhere or go anywhere, they're going to have to get healthy. As has already been indicated, they're having issues with some of the key guys out. DeMar DeRozan, who it's hoped that he is the guy that's going to elevate this team to at least be a contender. He's out, so we heard earlier that Malik Monk is out. So, me personally, I don't see the Kings making any really sustained run, because I think the Western Conference is just too it's too talent laden, in my opinion. Like, let's just do it. Let's take a little look here. So let's go to the Western Conference. And right now, of course, you have the Thunder. They're 11-2. The team that nobody talks about. And you got the Warriors, surprisingly, second in the West, 10-2. The Rockets are 9-4. I don't know whether they're going to sustain it or not, but they're 9-4. The Suns are 9-4. The Fakers, they're 8-4. The Nuggets, just 2 years removed from a championship, they're 7-4. You know what I mean? So that's the top 6 teams right there. The Timberwolves, who got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, they're 7-6. The Kings are 7-6. So, right now the Kings will be in the play-in tournament. Then you have the Grizzlies. They've been hit by injuries, including, of course, John Morant. The Clippers are pretenders. The Spurs, whatever. The Mavericks are 5-7. They went to the finals last year. You can't help but think they're going to right that and get a little bit higher. The Pelicans, the Pelicans are the Pelicans, man. The team just have been decimated by injuries, so that's not real indicative of what they should be. But anyway, you get the point, man. I don't see the Kings being real contenders for anything other than maybe a play-in tournament. But salute to De'Aaron Fox for a great game. And by the way, let's do a little bit of digging when it comes to Jack Twyman. Okay. Jack Twyman is a Hall of Fame player. He passed away back in 2012 at the age of 78. He played in the NBA from 1955 to 1966. He was a 6-time All-Star, twice All-NBA second team. His number 27 retired by the Sacramento Kings. He averaged 19.2 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 2.3 assists in his career. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been the 60-61 season. One of those years he averaged 31 points a game. It was the 59-60 season. I think that's the year that he had the 59-point game. He averaged 40 minutes per game that year, and he was 6th in All-Star voting. So, salute to the great Jack Twyman. By the way, it was Jack Twyman who became the caretaker for a player that should have been an all-time great, Maurice Stokes, his teammate. I think it was a game late in the, what year was it? I think it might have been the 57-58 season. Let me make sure that I think it was the 57-58 season. Yeah, so it was a game late in the season, 57-58 season, where Maurice Stokes suffered a significant head injury. Little did he know it was a much more significant head injury than he thought. He was having terrible headaches. I think on the plane ride to commercial flight plane ride to whatever team they were going to play against. It might have been the Detroit Pistons, but I can't remember exactly. But on the plane, he suffered a seizure. And basically, I think he had significant brain damage. Like he had a brain infection. And I think he became like a quadriplegic. And he suffered irreparable brain damage. And he was mentally disabled for the rest of his life. And Jack Twyman took care of him, you know, until Maurice Stokes died in 1970 of a heart attack. I think he was. He was around 36 years old, if I remember correctly. But anyway, salute to Jack Twyman. Salute to De'Aaron Fox for establishing a new all-time record. I hope, wish it came with a, well, I know he wished it came with a victory. Tell me what you guys think.